good morning. So it is, I think, January 25th. Does that seem about right? It is Monday. I know that for sure. And here we are again. I think that this is our last full week of January, which is pretty wild. It's pretty wild. And as soon as I did my hand thing just now, I don't think you guys could pick it up with sound, but there was a hawk outside making his hawk sounds. So I'm like, that sounds about right for this morning. So let's first talk about the energy, because wow, okay. We've already been experiencing unprecedented energy shifts and swirls already. All month long, it's been really, really intense and has been upshifting exponentially as we've moved through this month. And we've experienced, basically, if you follow the Schumann resonance, we've experienced that the Earth's vibratory field and energy output has been drastically increasing as we have moved through the past year and a half especially. And it just keeps getting wilder and wilder and wilder. Now, what does that mean for us? I'm going to talk to you a little bit about your body and what your body is and what you are. You are mostly water, right? We know this. And you are all energy. So you are energy contained within water. And if you think about that, it makes a lot of sense, because we know that energy transmits very well through water. Right? We know that very, very well. We're like, don't go near the live wire that goes down in the puddle, right? Because that's really dangerous. That's us. We're the puddle with the live wire in it, covered in skin, which is really just in order to anchor us down into a third dimensional form. And that's it. So we are energy. We are water. And we are just like walking around, bopping around on this planet, and we are incredibly affected by all of the energy shifts that are happening because we are part of it. So if the energy of the actual Earth itself is increasing in its vibratory output, so are we. We're not separate from these things. And as we become more aware of them and start to remember those things, open that third eye and pineal gland, we start to understand what that feels like more and more and more. And it can feel very overwhelming to suddenly start to feel that you are contained within the same framework as all of the things that are happening on this planet. For some reason, that has escaped our attention for a minute, but now we're back, right? So that means we are learning what it feels like to be connected to Gaia again. And newsflash about Gaia, we haven't been treating her so great. And so she's not feeling awesome. So if you start to feel those symptoms and you start to feel like your own energy is very up and down and just bananas, that is correct, because that's what's happening. And it's exciting because what is actually happening in a larger scheme of things is that the Earth is starting to get the energy up for healing on a massive scale. And that includes us. It includes our energetic systems. It includes our actual third dimensional bodies. It includes our thought processes. It includes all the things. So we're going through a massive period of upgrades now so that we can be simpatico with the world around us in a way that we haven't been previously, at least for a really long time. The period of adjustment for that is, of course, going to be rough. And this weekend, I'm going to tell you right now, has been rough. And I can't imagine what it would feel like not understanding what it is. So it's a gift to be able to point to things like the Schumann resonance, to be able to understand energetically what is happening with you, to know that things are upgrading, and to have that place to anchor into so you don't freak out and just think that your physical body is failing you, because it's really not. It's just upgrading. And there's no way to kind of have that happen fast without it feeling like shit sometimes. So that's what's been happening for the past 3 to 4 days. We've been getting major energy coming through. Some things that you may have also noticed with this influx of energy, besides the physical symptoms, which, for me have been exhaustion, body aches, muscle cramping, lots of pressure in my head, ear ringing, just lethargy. But aside from those things, emotions coming up, old triggers coming up. And I'm saying like ancient history stuff, the things that keep coming back around, that you're like, oh no, I'm totally fine with this. I've put this to rest like 20 years ago, and it's like, whoop, just kidding, it's here again. And you're like, oh no, why? It's here so that you can level up with it. Okay? Right now, you should be excited, and I am saying this, you should be excited if a trigger comes to visit you. Because when that trigger comes to visit you in this energy, it is a recipe for pure magic on your part. You're able to level up with that energy in exponential ways and commit to healing that would have normally taken quite a long time to achieve in the blink of an eye, because you're ready for that understanding now. If you think about, again, the growth spiral, which I'm never gonna ever stop talking about, but if you think about the growth spiral, I've been working with this for about 1.5 years now or more. And I have just recently started to understand another part of this. And it's not that complicated, but I get excited when understanding comes through. Think about your lessons, right? We all came here to have a unique experience and specific experiences to assist us in learning something, right? We didn't all come here to have the same lesson. Homogenization is not something we came here to learn. That is a construct in a program that we are now unlearning, because it prevents all of us from doing what we came here to do and experiencing what we came here to experience, which creates a lot of angst within our systems, right? Because our higher self is like, we didn't come here for this. We didn't come here for this. And you're like, why am I so agitated? Why can't I just fall in line and make the white picket fence happen and be happy? It's because you didn't come here for the white picket fence. Some people did. They absolutely did. And that's great. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But you deserve to give yourself that opportunity to know what it is you came here to do. So thinking about that we all came here to do something very unique to our own needs as spiritual beings, to come to Earth's playground and experience some things for ourselves. We are going to get the same lesson in different ways over and over and over again. And if you've been on the earth for more than a decade or two, you already know that this is a thing. You already know that there is energy that keeps coming back around like a boomerang. And you're like, oh no, now I'm in a relationship with another person who's a narcissist and another person. Why does it keep happening? These things keep popping up because they're giving you the opportunity to shift your awareness and how to interact with that energy. So think about the spiral. And I don't know, for those of you who are watching the video, I have a spiral on my wrist, but you know what? That's not helpful. But imagine the spiral. We start at the bottom and we start spiraling up, and we become bigger and bigger as we spiral up, just like a cyclone, okay? So imagine that. When you first start out, you're in the smaller rung and you're in this energy, okay? And then you move through higher up, higher up, higher up. As you move around your spiral, you're going to hit similar energy over and over and over again. When that happens, we often become triggered and we say, uh-oh, why is this happening? I thought I learned my lesson. I invite you to reframe that response, because when it comes around and you hit that same energy again, remind yourself that you're actually 3 rungs, 4 rungs, 100 rungs higher than you were the last time this energy came around, which means you can bring your new insight into interacting with this energy, which means when you do that, when you choose to use your leveled up knowledge instead of dropping down into your old pattern, you're able to have a completely new experience with this energy that will be much more aligned with the reason you came here. The clues are there. It's not trying to be hidden from you. So allow yourself to move into these trigger spaces with a little bit of excitement these days, because while it's kind of sucky, it's also very exciting, because when you give yourself the opportunity to connect with these similar energies in new leveled up ways with all of your new insight and understanding of the world and yourself, you open up all of these new timelines and you will feel it. It literally feels like this bubbling up of energy that then shoots out in all directions. And suddenly you're not stuck. Suddenly it feels like you can see in so many different ways, from so many different vantage points. And you start to feel the sovereignty in your own life of understanding how many choices you actually have and how many experiences there are for you to tap into and enjoy in your life, right? So whatever's triggering you this week or this weekend, I really invite you not to shy away from it, not to feel defeated by things coming back around and trying to get you. Nothing's trying to get you. Literally, the only thing trying to get you is to get your attention so that you can get in this, really be in this and do the things so you can have the experiences that you were meant to have here on this earth. There's so much for you to explore and experience, and this is how you do it. Now, I will say that there is a major block that most of us have when it comes to using our leveled up experience in what we perceive as old energy that should be dead, okay? And that is called stubbornness, all right? I have it, so it's not like I don't. I'm very stubborn. And a lot of us have this block where it's like when that energy comes back around, we would like to continue doing the same thing, but have a different result happen. Or we would like the other person to be the one to change their behaviors and thereby influence the experiment. That would be great. I would love to know, for any of you who have experienced this, if that has ever actually happened. Has the other person actually been the first one to initiate the change response that then had a positive effect upon you? I don't know. Anything could happen, but for me, that just is not the way it is. So getting out of your own way here, not being so stubborn and prideful, and instead saying, I'm going to do something different here and allow this to happen. Allow myself to make the difference in this equation because I can control my actions and I don't control other people. That you don't. We would love to, right? We don't, because everyone is a sovereign being. And if you are in a situation with another sovereign being, the only thing that you can control is your own feeling, your reaction, your action, and what you decide, what you choose to bring to that relationship with this person, with this place, with whatever it is. You are the common denominator in all of your situations, okay? So instead of feeling that as a burden, understand it to be the power that it is. Understand how deep your energy can affect the ripples around you and experiment with it. Try a different behavior that more accurately reflects the current state of your evolution. It's so easy when we're traveling along that growth spiral to encounter that similar energy and drop down 10 rungs and hit that old way of acting, those old ways of responding. It's kind of delicious to do it, to be honest with you, in some ways. I am Scorpio, so there's that. But it's kind of torturous in that woe is me, I'm at the mercy of the fates, like here we go again, I hope it changes kind of thing. It's very dramatic, right? So if you enjoy that, if that's what you're into right now, then by all means continue. But if you're ready for a different experience, understand you're the one in control of that. Nobody else is doing that for you, and no one else is doing it to you. You're in control of your experience. So if being the victim in your life is what feels good to you right now, if that is an enjoyable place, even if it's kind of like a secret enjoyment, then by all means, that's where you're at. But if it's not where you want to be, invite yourself to change the reactions, to change the actions, to meet the situation with a more leveled up understanding so that you can experience the change. And I promise you, this works. I've been doing it nonstop for the past month, and it has changed things in my life that I thought were impossible to change because they really involved other people's actions in my life. And, I'm not going to go around saying I can change other people's behavior. But one of the happy side effects of changing your behavior is that you open up all of these possibilities for the other person to also change their behavior in reaction to you. You are the energy that triggers different reactions from people. And when you change your energy, chances are they're going to change theirs too. Not all the time. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen a lot of the time. I'm like 10 out of 10 over here. So try it out this week. It's a fun thing to do when the energy's so wacky because it'll take your mind off of all the weird things going on with your body. So, why not? So I would love to, if you try this out this week, and if you even understood what the heck I'm talking about this morning, I'd love to hear your insight on this. I'd love to hear your experience on this and kind of open up that discussion. So feel free to jump into the Restoration Facebook group and, share your thoughts. I'll put a post in there this morning so we can just kind of talk about it because I think it's important for this week. I'm also being reminded of 28 because we have 28 here on Facebook, and our full moon call for restoration is Thursday, and it is January 28th. The full moon is in Leo, and we will talk about that more on Wednesday. But guys, everything is about to change with the way that we do lunar manifestation. I don't even have all of the information on this except that it's going to be different. Whatevs, right? But I say that to say, we have up until this point been kind of going through well-worn grooves when it comes to doing our lunar work, right? We're in the well-worn grooves, and they've been beautiful grooves. But now we're moving into completely different energy, and as we start to understand ourselves as energy and water and so affected by the cycles of the earth, we are also gaining new understanding of how to work with the moon and how to manifest and release, but also how to up-level ourselves at the same time. So starting this Thursday, we will be doing our moon calls completely differently. I don't know what that means again, but don't you want to find out? I know, I'm so good at marketing, but come join us. If you're not part of Restoration, you can join by using the link. It is only $22 a month, and you get a shit ton of stuff for that, including all of the things that have happened previously as far as masterclasses. You'll have access to all of those things. And coming in February, we not only have one masterclass, we've got two. So there's a lot of things happening in Restoration, and that is kind of your place to interface with me like this in a more intimate fashion when you come on the moon calls and the other random stuff we're going to be doing. So I'm very excited for Thursday for our moon call. I hope as many of you can join live as possible. You don't have to be live, of course, but when you're live, I love it. It really pumps up my energy and allows me to connect in bigger ways. So I hope a lot of you can make it at 6 p.m. This is a huge full moon because it's the beginning of what's next. It's our first full moon of 2021. We're in Aquarius energy, we're in Leo energy, and we are just ready to move ourselves to that next level. And honestly, after this past week, I'm ready for that. Okay, I see you, Claudia. It's time for me to pull a Fairy Forest card. One of my favorite decks. Let me just take a sip of this. I also want to let you know that if you have TikTok, if you've been asking me how I make my coffee in the morning, I did a TikTok this morning. I think it's so cool the way I did it. No, just kidding. I'm not very good at TikTok, but I did a TikTok this morning that shows how I make my coffee step by step. So if you've been one of the ones who's asking me how I make my coffee, what I put into it, it is up there on the TikTok, and I'll also share it to my stories on Instagram so you can look there as well. Okay? All right, are you ready? Here it comes. Here it comes, here it comes. Whew. I don't hate this. It's not Ragnarok. It's number 37, the Mabon. Number 37. Isn't she beautiful? She reminds me of Sharon Stone. Okay, Shining Hope and Future. Let's see what it says, guys. This sounds good. I'll take it. The Mabon is the child of the darkest moment, born when bright hope beckons you into a positive future, born out of what has seemed to be the most hopeless space you have ever been within. This card indicates that you are now thinking magically. What you think, what you are, manifests about you at all times. Now, with this new magical mindset, you begin to transform your life into one of delight and hopefulness, and to uplift your companions with your vibrant, positive energy. When we allow ourselves to shine, we become who we were always meant to be. And by example, we encourage others to become who they truly are. You are a powerful role model for others. Keep up the wonderful work. You still have many experiences ahead of you on your journey, but this energy is now your companion and divine inspiration. Make a wish when you see stars. You may even have a homeland among them. This beautiful card of bright optimism is full of the joy everyone feels when you are celebrating magical living. It is effortless and joyful to do this divine work. The Mabon is the child born at winter solstice. So this card indicates a rebirth of positive light and energy after a time of lack. You are now about to receive great good fortune. And oh, how good the weight lifting off from your old self feels. Thank you, Fairy Forest. I will post the description of this card in the Restoration Facebook group, so you'll have that. I'm sending you guys lots of love. If you have been enjoying this live broadcast or this podcast or YouTube video, it would be amazing if you would share. I hope you have an amazing Monday. I will be back on Wednesday, 8:30 a.m., bright and early. Remember to drink your water and not to be afraid of the growth spiral. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and follow.